the light that draws nations. Imagine standing on the deck of a ship in the dead of night. The waves are restless, the wind howls, and the horizon is swallowed in black. You are disoriented, unsure where the coastline begins or ends. Then, suddenly, a beam cuts through the night. A lighthouse appears. You know where safety is. You know you are not alone. That single light changes everything. Isaiah 63 paints a picture of this very moment, not on the sea but in life and history. Nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your dawn. It is a verse about attraction, about lives and communities so illuminated by God's glory that people are compelled to move toward it. And that is not just ancient poetry. It is a framework for how you and I are meant to live, lead, and work. God's glory is not decorative. Here is where the tension lies. Too many of us treat God's light like a candle we keep on the windowsill, warm, personal, and private. But Scripture insists it is a blazing lighthouse positioned for visibility, meant to guide others in. The Hebrew word for light carries weight. It is not a dim glow. It is the same light God spoke at creation, the energy that makes life possible. That means your faith, your integrity, your daily choices are not optional accessories. They are directional. People around you are watching how you handle pressure, conflict, and opportunity. Your radiance is not about perfection. It is about presence, about being steady when others crumble, about offering clarity when others only add noise. Let this sink in. Your light is not decorative. It is directional. The pattern of light. From Genesis to John, light follows a pattern. God speaks it, His people receive it, and then it spreads outward. Isaiah's prophecy connects Israel's restoration with global attraction. John 1 echoes this, saying that Jesus' life is the light of all mankind. And Jesus Himself hands this pattern forward in Matthew 5. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Here is the catch. Light does not chase people down. The lighthouse does not move toward the ships. It stands firm, steady, and unwavering. Yet its presence draws. That is how influence works in faith, in relationships, and in business. You do not have to manipulate or demand attention. You simply need to shine consistently, with clarity and courage. Ask yourself, am I chasing or am I shining? Darkness is real, but it does not win. We need honesty here. The passage assumes darkness exists. It is thick, it is frightening, and it confuses nations and leaders. The same is true today. In life and in business, the storms are real. Layoffs, strained marriages, health crises, betrayal, burnout. Pretending otherwise only makes the dark feel heavier. But Isaiah's vision flips the script. Darkness is not the final word. God's glory rises on His people, and that light becomes irresistible. John's Gospel says it bluntly. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. That is more than a theological claim. It is a practical leadership principle. Chaos, uncertainty, and fear do not have to define you. You may not eliminate the darkness, but you can live in such a way that it never defines the atmosphere around you. Radiance in relationships. Relationally, this passage calls you to be a beacon. Your spouse, kids, friends, or co-workers do not need another critic or cynic. They need a steady light. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere should shift, not because you are loud or impressive, but because your presence is rooted in peace, kindness, and hope. Think of that coworker who always brings calm in a meeting, even when everyone else is tense. Or that friend who listens without judgment and makes you believe you can get through this season. That is Isaiah 60:3 in action. That is God's light, refracted through human character. So, pause for reflection. Are people relieved or burdened when they see you coming? Professional application. Light as leadership. Professionally, your light is your leadership. Titles do not make people follow you. Light does. In every organization, there are lighthouses. People whose integrity, clarity, and presence draw others in. They are not always the ones with corner offices or high salaries, but they are the ones people trust when storms hit. Leadership is less about the spotlight and more about being a lighthouse. The spotlight seeks attention. The lighthouse offers direction. Which one are you building? When you choose consistency over charisma, honesty over expedience, and service over ego, you shine. In a world of shifting values and shallow promises, that kind of light is rare, which is exactly why it is magnetic. The heart truth. Commissioned to shine. Here is what you cannot miss. Isaiah's vision does not just comfort, it commissions. Nations will come. Kings will notice. In other words, your light will attract influence you do not even anticipate, but only if you let it shine. Too often we shrink back, convinced we are not radiant enough. But remember, the lighthouse does not generate the sun. It simply channels it. The same is true for us. You do not have to be the source. You just have to stay close to the source. That truth is both freeing and demanding. Freeing because you do not have to perform. Demanding because you cannot stay passive. Walking forward. So how do you live this out in life, faith, and business? Start small but intentional. Begin your day with the mindset that your light matters to someone else. Ask, where can I bring clarity today? Where can I steady someone else's storm? Where can I point towards safety? Then act on it. Respond with patience when frustration rises. Speak the truth when compromise is tempting. Encourage when silence would be easier. Every small beam matters. Final word. Isaiah 60:3 is not just an ancient prophecy. It is a present calling. The world is dark, but God's glory still rises. And when it does, nations notice, leaders notice. Families notice, teams notice. Do not hide the light. Do not dim it to fit in. Do not hoard it for yourself. Stand tall. Shine steady. Become the lighthouse you are meant to be. Because somewhere, someone is scanning the horizon for hope. And your light may be the one they see.